On Kiss FM. Stick around because we have Heather Shea here. We're going to have some ghost stories. Yeah, it's Halloween. We have your ghost stories coming up right after Miley Cyrus, Used to Be Young, on 93.1 Kiss FM. From Pink right now with Walk Me Home, and then we have your ghost stories for this Halloween Tuesday.
Day it is.
It's Halloween.
It's Halloween.
It's Halloween.
Where's your costume? It's Halloween.
This is my best Halloween costume.
Best Halloween costume ever.
Seriously, are these Halloween costumes?
It's Halloween and we need the candy.
Ah, Halloween candy.
The whole point of Halloween. Free candy?
Give me your Halloween candy.
Happy Halloween.
Showtime!
Happy Halloween. It is Halloween today, and in case you didn't know, and we're having a very special Halloween edition here on the morning show. We are welcoming back Heather Shea, storyteller, a great storyteller, professional tour guide, and the founder of Lost El Paso Paranormal Ghost Tours. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me again, and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. So I understand it's been a busy start to your Halloween.
Yes, definitely. We actually did a little live investigation throughout the morning news on KFOX today, and we were out there in downtown El Paso. The meteorologist, Evan O'Regan, and myself, and a couple of other crew, and we were just getting some really wild responses. If anybody saw that this morning, they know what I'm talking about. So.
Where were you all at again?
We were downtown, and we made stops at places like Dave's Pawn Shop and the DeSoto Hotel, the Acme Saloon where John Wesley Hardin was murdered. We made stops at some of those.
So you went in a bunch of places.
Mm-hmm. We did like a 2-hour walking around and investigating.
Ooh, and what did you guys?
Well, it started off kind of quiet, and we were just like, that maybe this is just gonna be a quiet morning. And then by the time we got over to the Hotel Paso del Norte, the crew had brought along some equipment. They had like a REM pod and some K2s. And as soon as we got over there to the hotel, that thing started going off, which is already kind of cool. But it got even better because as it went on, by the time we had gotten over to the DeSoto Hotel, the equipment was actually responding intelligently. And what I mean by that is the meteorologist was actually asking it to light up certain colors of lights, and it was responding as he asked it to. So,
wow.
And that was happening on live TV this morning, so pretty cool.
Wow, so apparently ghosts love to be on TV.
I guess so. I mean, some of them do. There was a few shy ones where they were doing anything at all, but there was a few spots where they were coming out and showing off for sure.
Wow, and were any of them non-believers of ghost spirits?
Yes. When we first started off, one of the gentlemen was like, I don't really believe in this, and by the end, he was like, make it light again, do bright red,
this is
do
fun.
blue. Yeah, so we had a wild time, but it was interesting because I personally never done that at that time of day. Being downtown between 4, 5, 6 a.m., it is totally different down there. It is dead, quiet.
It is, everyone's asleep.
Nothing down there but you and the spirits, I guess. So
wow, because what times do you usually go do stuff down there?
Well, we're usually down there in the nighttime, like maybe 8 to 10ish. I also do afternoon history tours as well, weird history tours. And there's often a lot more activity at those times. People are out and about, so it was different being down there when it was so quiet and dark. And we actually got a little activity, which was surprising.
Wow, and that's the first time you've ever done that on live TV?
Yes,
and gotten that?
Yes, and at that time of day, never tried that before, so I wasn't sure what was going to happen, and it was pretty surprising to see what we got.
Wow, that's interesting.
It was fun. Yeah.
Man, I hope they post it so I can see it.
Yeah.
Ugh. But we're talking about ghost stories today. So again, we have Heather Shea, founder of Lost El Paso Paranormal Ghost Tours. And I brought my bestie in with me, Joe, because we want to tell some ghost stories. Everyone, you can't see, but I turned off the lights.
Vibes.
Yeah, the vibes are just, I lit my Post Malone candle that I
Saint Post Malone.
Saint Post Malone candle.
So easy to protect you from the
So he can protect me
ghost.
from the spirits, yes.
Got it.
I've never lit that candle, and I was like, today's the day. We're going to tell some ghost stories. So give us kind of a little tease on
It's not a candle, guys. It's a vela.
No, well, I can't say that because then people get mad because it's not really the saint.
Still, though.
He's still a saint to me.
It's a vela. It's a Mexican vela.
So, and speaking of...
You can turn that into a giant shot glass.
I could after it melts, though.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We were talking a little bit about La Llorona, and I remember last time you came, we kind of touched up on that.
Right, and I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but my husband and I actually do a La Llorona festival once a year. It is like a full-on festival where it's artists, musicians, dance, and it's, you know, it's La Llorona, but it's also folklore of the Southwest. That's kind of the theme of it.
Yeah.
So it's one of our favorite events to do. And bringing up events, I heard you guys talk about Krampus earlier.
He was. Yeah.
I'm scared of that guy.
Are you guys going to Krampus Fest?
There is
Where's
one.
it at?
There is Krampus Fest happening this year. I think it's on December 9th, and it's going to be at the Coliseum this year.
Here?
That's how big it has gotten. Yes, we've been doing it every year since the beginning. Kaleidoscope Art Market does it, and it is amazing. They do a full-on Krampus parade. There is costume contests, live, music,
So what's the story
food
of
trucks,
him?
everything. He's like a kind of a European version of a Christmas creature. He's like
The Christmas boogeyman.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're good, you don't have to worry. But if you're bad, he is going to toss you in his sack and carry you
Oh, okay.
away.
So it's only the bad kids.
Right.
So it's only the bad kids?
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
He's kind of like the counterpart. He comes along with Saint Nick. So when they
Okay.
do their parade, you'll see the Saint Nick walking along with Krampus. So Saint Nick's there for the good ones, and Krampus is there for the bad ones. Yeah.
Oh, and so what does he just puts
So
you in
then
the
Santa
back?
Claus and Krampus work together.
Right. Yes.
Oh my God! So Santa Claus is cool. I don't know, dude. He has a friend over here that he
Well-
always brings along.
Yeah.
Well, because
he's
the-
got that questionable friend.
Yeah, very.
Don't we all?
We all
Yeah,
have
don't
one of
we
those,
all?
right?
My friend Iris. Don't we all?
But yeah, you guys should definitely check that out. It's a lot of fun. Excellent event.
Oh, that's awesome. And what other? Okay, so we talked about that. We talked about La Llorona. What?
Oh, the one we were talking about is the Mexican cucuy.
Yeah. I heard
Because
you guys
that, since I
talking
was
about that.
6 months old, my mom's been talking about him.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
thought that was her boyfriend or something.
Could have been too.
Chuy el cucuy.
Have you heard? Is there any stories behind that one?
I haven't heard too many kukui stories here in El Paso other than like what you guys are mentioning. You know, your mom's warning you that he's going to come get you.
Yeah, the monster.
I personally haven't had any kukui encounters that I'm aware of, you know.
Online it says it's the equivalent of the boogeyman.
Right, yeah. He's like a boogeyman, kind of like,
But just like the Mexican version of it, the kukui boogeyman. Okay, all right.
But at least in America, you learn about the boogeyman like way later in life, maybe like when you're 9 or 10.
no, not.
Mexican moms, no. From the beginning, you're born.
The kukui's gonna get you if you don't stop.
Yeah, you don't like
baby.
the milk?
The
Cucuy.
kukui's coming.
And they always do the cucuy.
So what other? I guess.
Oh, I do have a question. So is the whole Gravity Hill thing real?
Well, actually, the interesting thing about that, the Gravity Hill that we have here is similar to many other ones that you can find across the country. It's kind of sort of like an optical illusion because they've actually gone out there with like a level and leveled
Right.
measured the, the plane of the angle,
Of
the angle
the
of the
dirt,
plane of
or
the
the road,
street. Right.
yeah.
And it's actually kind of one of those situations where you look like you're facing up, but you're actually facing down. So your car is going to roll down, but the illusion you're getting, it looks like you're rolling up.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's basically like an optical illusion.
And then also like some people said it's like, the magnetic field or whatever. So there's a lot.
Right, there's a lot that goes into it. And then, there's also, usually they have that kind of legend that goes with it that put powder on the back of your car.
I was about to ask that. So,
And
and
you
you
find the
find the
handprints.
fingerprints or whatever.
Right.
Have people ever?
I've seen that happen, but I've seen it theorized, like for example, on Mythbusters, they theorize that, you're touching the trunk of your car all the time and leaving oils on the car.
That's very true.
And think about what happens when you put, when you're dusting for fingerprints.
You get the
You
fingerprint.
put the powder and
I
the
didn't even think
fingerprints
of
show
that.
up. So that could be a possibility. And in the paranormal, we try to look for that. We try to explain it away, and be rational at first until we can't anymore.
Yeah.
So that's how we
Ooh.
approach.
Interesting. All right, well, we're gonna hear some more urban legend ghost stories from you. We have Heather Shade here, founder of Lost El Paso Paranormal Ghost Tours. We'll have more spooky stories coming up in just a few minutes. Our Halloween edition of the morning show. It's 93.1 Kiss FM. Happy Halloween! It is your Halloween edition of the morning show. It's Iris Lopez here. I got my bestie Joe. Say hi, Joe.
Hello, everybody.
And then we're telling ghost stories with Heather Shea, founder of Lost El Paso Paranormal Ghost Tours. And right now we're going to do some urban legends from El Paso.
Yes.
So give us some urban legends that we probably haven't heard about, and maybe others haven't either.
All right. One of my favorites, which is a very weird and mysterious story, and I know a lot of you guys out there are going to know what I'm talking about, and it's the underground bus. Have y'all
Underground
ever heard of
bus.
it? The underground bus is kind of a strange situation. If you drive way out there on Montana going east, and I'm talking, you're out there in the desert, and I'm not going to give specific directions to it because it's easy enough to find if you really want it. And the way I look at it, I like to make people work for it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's how urban legends work. I don't give it away that easily. But you drive yourself way out there on, out in the east to the desert, and off on this dirt road, you're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, you are going to find the foundation of a burned down house.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing remains but the foundation and some of the, supports that show where the walls were.
Mm-hmm.
And the strange thing about this is as you go onto that foundation of that house, you're going to go into an area where you're going to see what used to be the former bedroom. And we know this because you can see the frame of the bed. It's burned, like the house, but it's still got bed springs and pieces of the bed there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, right underneath where the bed was situated in that room, there was an opening in the floor that you can see, like actually a square hole cut into the concrete. So that would have been hidden under the bed when there was a home there. And the strange thing about it is if you look down into that hole under the foundation of this house, there is a full school bus buried under the house. Now, this has been the speculation for many years as why would somebody bury, think of what it would take to dig the hole, put the bus down there, bury it, build a house on top of it, make a hidden entrance to it. So the entrance goes into the top of the bus, so you can actually drop down into the bus. So there's been over the years, of course, many speculations and stories about it. One of the stories people say is that, a serial killer used to live in the house. He would keep his victims down there in the bus under the house. And one day, one of the victims escaped and burned the house down in the process. That's been what I've been hearing about the home since, I was young. And that's not exactly accurate. That's not, what happened. But the strange thing is we don't know what happened. We don't know why the house is there. Why did it burn? Why is there a bus underneath it? What was it using to hide? What was the purpose of it? And even creepier, if you go down there now and look down there, the bus over the years, people go down there and put things in there. So you go down there and it's full of baby dolls.
Oh, that's
and
creepy.
just creepy stuff, yeah. And so that is something that people go wild over because, your imagination.
Do you know the location of this place?
Yes, I've been there.
Yeah, but
I
she
have
said she wants
photos
to
of
make
it.
you work for it. She doesn't
Yeah. I don't like to
make
say-
the audience work for it. I want to go. You're my homie now.
You got the hookup.
We're homies
Yeah, I
now.
got the
We'll
hookup.
tell you when we're
I'm
off.
VIP Ghost Paranormal El Paso.
But yeah, it's out there, and if you want to find it, you can find it. I mean,
Oh, I want to go.
yeah. But I've been out there, and you can go look on our on our Facebook page. We have pictures of it and video of it and everything. If you want to go check it out and see what it looks like.
I wanna
But it's
look.
just a strange phenomenon because why in the world so far out there in the middle of the desert, and then also why do so many people know about it? You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
It's such a weird thing, and it's so remote. How does everybody know it's there? It's just one of those word of mouth things that once you hear about it, it gets in your mind and you want to go find it, right? And
Yeah,
then once
for
you
sure.
see it, you're like, okay, it's
That's
there.
creepy.
It
Just the
exists.
thought of it, though. Just the bus there. Just
Mhm.
I do have a funny joke, but it's probably just funny to me.
probably.
When you said, imagine all the work that it would take to put that bus down there. I was like, oh, not that much. 3 Mexican construction workers from El Paso, they'll knock it out in about an hour.
Very true.
Yeah.
But if it was
Other cities,
no
something to
Yeah,
worry about.
No, yeah,
You got to get a crew and a crane. Over here, it's just hey, Juan, Pablo, Miguel.
We
let's
got
go.
it.
We got it.
But okay, so how long has that one been there?
I don't know how long it's been there. I mean, the story says that, it was back in the 50s that there was a serial killer that lived there. What I had done is I had actually gone back and looked through satellite images of that location, and I did notice that there was no structure there till after the 90s. So I was able to kind of debunk the story that this is a location that's been there since 1950, because there was nothing on that showing up on that property.
The location, yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, I don't know too much more about it. I don't know the purpose of it. It's just one of those weird things that makes people wonder and they get curious and then they want to go see it for themselves.
And then you make up your own stories and it makes
Yes,
it even
and then
creepier.
right. And then the legend grows and people add to it. And
Yes.
that's literally what an urban legend is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really, really interesting.
Nice. Well, we have more urban legends and
Yes.
another scary story that you're going to share with us in just a few minutes. All right. So we have Heather Shade here, founder of Lost El Paso Paranormal Ghost Tours. We're sharing scary stories.
Oh, she said she had another one, right?
Yeah, we're gonna
Oh,
do it after the
Yeah,
break.
all right.
I got to pay.
Sorry, I got all excited.
I know.
I'm like, where are you going, Heather?
And this is Joe, my bestie. We're having like a little slumber party here, all of us, with the lights off because it is Halloween. So we have more ghost stories coming up after the break. Happy Halloween. It is your Halloween edition, a spooky edition of the morning show. We have Heather Shade, founder of Lost El Paso Paranormal Ghost Tours. She's telling us urban legend ghost stories. I've got my friend Joe here as well. We're really into these ghost stories, man. We're getting in the spirit, in the spooky spirit. How are you feeling? Do you feel like any spirits have...
I'm
Taking
thankful
over?
this is during the day.
But we turned off the lights in the
No, it
studio.
doesn't matter. At least I go outside and it's still the
I
sun's
know
out.
it's still sun's out.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm like, oh, back to normal. This would have been at midnight. I'd be...
That would have been
I'd be like,
different.
can you follow me home?
All right.
Can you make sure I'm okay inside all the way?
Please.
Check under my bed.
I was going to say, but even the spirits can follow you inside. Just kidding, kids. The kids are all freaking out the kids. Oh, no, they're in school now. All right, Heather. So we're sharing more urban legends. What other urban legends you got for us?
All right, another one that's very kind of notorious around here is the legend of Six Poles. And if you haven't heard about that one, that is a location that can be found. It's kind of over there by the community college and the Old Magic Landing location. It's back behind there. There is, it's kind of like I guess you could say like a concrete platform.
Okay.
And it's got these 6 poles or columns, concrete columns going around
I feel like I've seen that.
and the rumor about it is that, oh, that's a place where they go and they do satanic activity. They use it to do sacrifices and things like that. The other legend of it is that there's also supposed to be a ghost of a woman who was murdered out there. And they say that if you go stand there in the middle of 6 poles, which is that little spot with the columns, that you can be able to hear her screaming out in the desert, or you'll see her out in the desert from that vantage point. The interesting thing about that site, and this is where I think kind of that rumor began, is I don't know if you guys are wherever fans of Mystery Science Theater 3000 and the old funny movies they used to play, but there's a very campy old B movie called Manos, The Hands of Fate.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
Right.
Yes.
It was filmed here in El Paso.
Yes.
And there was a whole satanic sacrifice scene, and they actually filmed it there at 6 Poles. That is the filming location of the movie, of that section of the movie.
remember that movie.
So, you know, that right there marks it as a notorious thing because people saw that in the film and, oh, that's the satanic worship place. But because of that and because of kind of the mystery of the site, it's just, why is there this, you know,
Random,
almost
yeah.
ceremonial looking like location out in the desert with nothing around it? It just looks odd, and it's kind of up on a hill. So when you're up there, you're kind of like, what is this for? We do believe it's attached to a property that's nearby, and it's probably part of the property. We had heard that it was intended to be like a gazebo at one point in time, and it was unfinished. But like I said, it's a very strange sight because you go out there and you see the columns, and it's got a couple of like big stones in the middle, big square stones, and they're inscripted with different sayings. And it's just all very mysterious and odd to find out in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
So that has caused rumors, you know, all kinds of things to spring up around it.
Ooh.
So-
And that one's over by, you said by where Magic Landing?
Yeah,
Was?
if you go over where, you know, the old Magic Landing location and where the community college is, it's right behind that, back in the desert behind that. So it's kind of remote, kind of spooky. And, you know, people say things about that area anyway. Even when Magic
Yeah.
Landing was there, people would say they see lights out in the desert, they hear voices out there. So it's already kind of a weird and spooky area. And then when you add in this strange platform in the middle of the desert with columns around it and mysterious inscriptions, you know, it really fires up people's imaginations. So 6 Poles is definitely one of our most well-known urban legends in this area. People love to talk about it, speculate about it, and of course the movie adds that extra touch of, you know, that notoriety to it.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that movie. I remember hearing about that.
It's very
now.
funny, actually.
Yeah, it's like, I was
very
gonna say-
campy.
Yes, I was going to say, it's kind of like a comedy, but it's not supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah,
But
right.
it's supposed to be scary.
It's supposed to be serious, but it's a little bit ridiculous and over the top. But yeah, they've got this whole, you know, segment of the movie where the Satanists are there and they're flapping around in their capes and burning candles and then chanting incantations, and they are there at 6 poles. So if you want to see it in action,
You can see it.
the whole movie's actually up on YouTube. So anybody that wants to go see it can go check it out. They actually have a few more scenes in there where you'll see them driving on scenic drive and stuff. So
What's the name again?
Manos, The Hands of Fate.
Oh.
The very campy B horror movie.
Yes, very much so.
Very cheesy, campy movie, yeah. But you know, a very cool piece of El Paso history because you know you'll see our city in there and one of our urban legends.
So now that we've been talking about stories during the break, I shared one with you, and I want to actually share two. Hopefully, we can talk about the second one because I think it's really real, and I actually went to school there. But the first one on Elm Street, there was an old house that was like semi-burnt, like halfway burnt. You know, very old school looking home. And there was a window centralized to the house that, you know, during the day, there was a dirty white curtain, but during the day it was closed. And during the evening, at night, it would be open. A lot of my friends said they would climb it and see it. They said that it would always be a rocking chair there that was moving. So that was scary. I never climbed it, but for sure I saw that curtain. It was on Elm Street. The house has been torn down since then, but I do remember that, and it was like when I was like in 9th grade.
And then on Elm Street.
And then on Elm Street.
Of all things,
Out of all
Elm
things,
Street.
it's
Yeah.
like, the second one for sure, I went to school at El Paso High School.
Oh, wow.
So back in the day when I was like in 9th, 10th grade, they did have a living like maintenance person there. So like the custodial person lived there.
Oh, wow.
The story was that his daughter passed away and went to school there and that she was bullied. So the young lady died or whatnot. And, you know, I was in student council clubs and did all these other things, like even did like, you know, just different activities. And that place for sure is creepy, spooky. And I mean, that's like like a fort, right? I mean, imagine how many nooks and crannies that people don't know about, but you would hear noises. And obviously you think it's the furnace or something like that. No, things would move around for sure. And obviously you see Fit Fam and you see other places posed and you see people in windows. They don't allow anybody up there, like, you know, late at night. What are your thoughts on that? Have you investigated El Paso High School?
Never been able to investigate because, to be honest, they don't really allow that. But my sister actually had an experience there. She was a teacher there, so a substitute teacher there. And it was kind of funny because my sister was very skeptical, didn't really believe too much in ghosts and things like that. So, you know, when she was teaching there, she was staying after class one day after school had ended. So she was all alone on one of the upper floors doing papers. And she hears something outside in the hall, a girl crying. Being a substitute teacher, my sister's like, I've been through this before. The kids are pranking me. So she says, I'm going to go outside and shoo them away. So she steps out of her classroom and there's no one there. But now she hears the crying again. But now it has moved down the hall and around the corner where she can hear it, but she can't see. So she's thinking, these kids are messing with me. I'm going to run down the hall and I'm going to scare them. So she goes down the hall and she turns to the corner. And right when she turned the corner into that other juncture of the hallway, the crying immediately stopped. She gets to the corner and she realizes there was no one in that other hall. She was up there alone. So she went back to the classroom, grabbed her stuff and left and went home. And this is my skeptical sister who doesn't believe in ghosts. That was an experience she had in that school. So...
And that school has like, I think 4 stories, maybe 5 with like a basement. First floor, second floor, third floor, they look like normal classrooms.
Yeah.
4th and 5th, it looked spooky back then. I'm sure it still looks spooky now. It was scary just going up higher because you're further from the door, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it'd be cool if they, I don't know, let's get permission to get in there.
I know.
Let's
And then
cut
a
the
lot of
red tape,
people
El
might-
Paso, help us get in there.
Yeah, let's see what's really going on in there.
Heck
And
yeah.
the basement of that building was actually used as a morgue.
What?
Yeah, during the
That adds
influenza
more to it.
epidemic.
They had a,
So you can imagine the energies that
Oh,
would be
yes.
left behind from being used in that way.
they had the band equipment in that basement when I was younger. I don't know
Oh,
where they
my
have it
goodness.
now. And you would hear, you know, some of the instruments, you know, I'm sure something was going on that you could hear noises. Like, it wasn't like musical playing music, but you could hear like one instrument moving more than the other. And that was scary.
Nope.
I would put all the kids in detention down there. I'd be like, hey, dude, you skipped class? You're going to go
You're
down
going
there.
down there
to
with
the
the...
basement with you.
Yeah, it's like by yourself.
Oh, okay. We've got more ghost stories coming up, but we have Heather Shade here and we have Joe as well. We're just giving you a spooky time on the radio. More ghost stories coming up with 93.1 Kiss FM.
It's Halloween. Where's your costume? It's Halloween.
This is my best Halloween costume.
Best Halloween costume ever.
Seriously, are these Halloween costumes?
It's Halloween and we need the candy.
Ah, Halloween candy.
The whole point of Halloween. Free candy?
Give me your Halloween candy.
Happy Halloween.
Showtime!
It's Halloween here, and we're going to continue the ghost stories. We have Heather Shade here and my friend Joe, and all these candles lit because we're just getting in the mood, in the spirit. I mean, it's never too early to get spooky, if I'm being honest. We've been sharing some urban legends, some scary stories. Joe even has his own scary stories. I've never been, maybe I'm lucky, I guess. I've never had any really scary.
I've had some scary Irish stories.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. You and many others. Those are stories we just cannot share on air. Just kidding. No, but we have some more ghost stories that you're going to share with us, Heather. What's the one you said about Concordia?
Yes, I was saying that often some of the best stories at the cemetery come from the security because they are
Yes.
out there all day, all
Yep.
night. They are very observant. You know, they're checking out everything. They know what's supposed to be out there and what's not. They know the routines. So they're the first people that's going to notice something unusual.
Yeah.
My favorite security guard story I'll share with you. And this was a gentleman who, an older gentleman, very rational, level-headed guy. He had started working out there. He was working the day shift. And he had only been out there not too long. I think he said maybe about a week and a half. And he's out there working days. They go in their vehicle and they drive the cemetery. And then they get out and they walk a little. Usually if they see a person out there, they'll approach them and ask them if they're looking for something, if they can be of any help.
Yeah, because they need the help, yeah.
So he's out there one day and it's a Sunday afternoon, broad daylight afternoon. He's driving in his vehicle and he sees what appears to be a little old lady. And she looks like she's wearing like a black dress and kind of a hat with a veil. He's thinking, you know, she probably went to church and has come to the cemetery afterwards to visit someone. That's very common.
Yeah.
So he sees her walking down the road away from him and he's driving up, kind of approaching her from behind. She's walking very stilted, kind of, you know, staggering along, just barely walking. So he is pulling up alongside of her and he calls out to her and he says like, "Hi, ma'am, you know, are you looking for anything? Can I be of any help?" And she ignores him. So he says again, "Ma'am, can I be of any help?" And she's still kind of just not responding to him. So at this point, he's kind of pulled up alongside of her. So he's right alongside of her and he has his driver window down and he stops the car. And he's like, "Ma'am," and she stops. And she very slowly turns
Oh, my gosh.
right towards his window. And she leans in and he can't see because she has a veil.
Yeah.
And according to him, he says she leans into the window and she very slowly and deliberately lifts her veil. And underneath is a rotted face. 2 black pits for eyes, no skin, a ghoulish face. And then she dropped her veil and continued walking. So the security guard's sitting there and he's kind of in shock and he thinks to himself, maybe that was a mask. I think they're messing with me because I'm new here. And as he's watching, she continues walking and she walks behind a tree. So he says, "I'm going to go and pull ahead in front of the tree and go around and I'm going to see who that is and see who sent them to scare me." Because he's thinking it's one of the other guards, you know.
Yeah, playing a little prank.
Right. So he pulls up around, you know, at this point he's lost sight of her because she's behind the tree that's between him and his car. So he pulls up around, gets out of the car and he approaches from the other side of the tree. There's nobody. And then he looks around, there's nobody in the entire cemetery but him. So this figure just vanished behind the tree. And he said it scared him. He said, "I actually had goosebumps, chills, hair standing up all over my body. And this is like a security guard, you know?"
Yeah.
And that was his story. And I find that to be extremely creepy.
That, I mean,
In broad daylight, what was that? You know, who or what was that?
yeah, in broad daylight. Imagine in the night what they see.
Exactly.
And so,
yeah.
did he keep working there?
Yeah, he actually continued working there. But I'll tell you something funny. They do sometimes have a turnover of guards that come in there and they're just like, "This is not for me." Because they come in there and experience things.
yeah,
and they
I
see
can only
things and they're just like,
imagine.
"No, they're not good with it." So that does sometimes happen as well. You'll have security guards that
Can you call HR at that point?
right?
What
Be
is it?
like, I don't know, man. If there's trouble at work, you call HR.
Yes.
But
Being
what
harassed
you're
by
gonna
ghosts.
by the spirits?
Yeah.
That's my point. Like, what do you say? You're gonna call HR?
But they're gonna be like, "Well, who was
Who's
it?"
gonna help you in that moment?
I don't know, but is there like cameras there?
Cameras? No.
No, right?
Cemetery, no.
Okay.
But even cameras don't capture things like
Oh,
that,
that's
right?
true. The cameras supposedly, allegedly, don't capture spirits.
Sometimes they do. We had a security guard out there a few months back that actually captured something that we've been seeing recently. We don't know what it is, but it's a figure in black. It looks like it's wearing a long black dress. I have a photo of it on our site that someone captured. We don't know what it is, but people have been seeing up by the front gates within recent, like the last year or so. And one of the security guards actually got a photo of it sitting on a tombstone, just looking at him sideways. Like
Ugh.
So yeah, the security guards have interesting stories. Sometimes they get weird pictures. They have a lot of stories to tell.
Oh, I can only imagine. Do you think like the spirits leave with them? Or do spirits leave? Do they even want to leave when they're in the cemetery?
It depends. I mean, I've known people that we've worked with in other crews that have had experiences where they felt like something followed them home.
Okay.
I mean, there are people that believe that can happen. It's never happened to me, thankfully, that I know of anyway. But yeah. But I mean, we do have people that tell us, that they've have had those kind of experiences. So what we usually do, like when I'm in the cemetery, when we're leaving, I always say my thank yous. Thank you for having us. When I go in, I explain. I say, hi guys, we're here to raise money for you tonight. So please forgive our intrusion and disturbing your peace. I kind of let them know that we're there, what we're doing, and then when we leave, I say thank you very much. You guys got to stay here.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, because you're invading their, area.
Yeah, you have to be respectful. They're not there for our entertainment, and honestly, that's not what we do in our tours. Like, I don't want anyone to ever get the impression that we go out there and we rile up the spirits for your entertainment. We're here to share their stories and the stories of people that have encountered them, and then what you experience, that's your, that'll be your experience. But we don't go conjure the spirits, as entertainment or anything. We try to be respectful in that regard.
Were you the company involved at the streetcar one? They had a tour. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was wondering if it was you.
No, we didn't do those.
Okay.
Hey, so for people that might not know more about like your tour and what you do, let them know a little bit more details about that.
Well, my husband and I have been doing working as tour guides since like around 2011. And hi, honey. I know he's at work. He's actually listening to us at work, which is so
is that
cute.
like something you guys bonded on?
Well, my husband and I have always been into like weird stuff like that. We love horror movies. We love paranormal stuff. So, we actually started this business because we were ghost tour guests ourselves. We used to go to every ghost tour in El Paso with Henry Flores, and eventually he got tired of seeing us show up and said, I'm going to put you to work. So that's literally what happened. We started working for him. We worked for him for 7 years. And then when he moved, he encouraged us to start our own thing. So that's how, that's what we do. But like I said, I know him, he's listening at work with his guys. So hi guys, thanks for supporting us. But yeah, we do ghost tours year round. It is not just a Halloween thing, and it's not just ghost tours either. I also do like weird history tours. I do like afternoon history tours where we talk about hidden history. I show you things in El Paso that you probably never heard of and never knew existed. It's really fun. We do true crime tours. So we do lots of different stuff. And we're out there, like I said, year round. It's not just a Halloween thing.
They're not off like Krampus and the
No, we don't get the holiday. We don't just do holidays.
They just don't do holidays. Yeah. They're all around. They
and
work
we'll
in
be
the
at
summer.
Krampus too, by the way. We'll be out there.
I'm going to go check you out.
I know.
As a matter of fact, what we do at that one is we tell creepy Christmas legends.
Is there creep? Oh my God.
Yes.
You're going to have to come back during Christmas then to tell. I mean,
so many Christmas beasts and monsters around the world in other countries. You'd be shocked. They're great stories. So I'd love to come tell you.
I've always wanted to have a haunted house that you would go somewhere, but it's a haunted house on a haunted house. Like the workers there are like just scaring people, having a blast, and then there's like another haunted house that they scare those workers.
What do you mean?
Like scaring the workers from the haunted house. The monsters that are scaring people like have like almost a real one. Really... Like there's other people coming in like the A-Team.
The A-Team?
Like, dude, that guy has a real saw. What's going on?
What is happening here?
Or once they close, there's one creepy dude that shows up that scares them. That would be a great prank.
I mean, oh, well, thank you so much, Heather, for joining us this morning and getting our Halloween started on us.
No, you did great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We were excited.
I always love coming on. It's always a lot of fun, so thanks.
No, so now we're going to have to, is there any Thanksgiving, like, horror stories? Not horror
killer
stories.
turkeys. No.
I was like, really?
No,
What?
but you know what? I bet you I can dig some up. So.
Oh, see now, if you all could choose like one to be like a spirit, a bad whatever for a holiday, which one would you choose?
Krampus.
You would choose Krampus?
Yeah,
Also, you would choose
I'm
Christmas?
all about it now.
You would choose Christmas?
I'm like Santa Claus' friend. Like, hey, what's up, Santa? Can I get some of those leftover gifts?
Well, you're a Halloween.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I love Halloween.
So you would be Halloween.
Are you friends with Letty from, what is that store?
Red
she
Door?
owns? Red Door.
Yes, I love Letty.
Oh, that's good.
She's amazing because, like when I do my La Llorona event that we do, a festival, she does my makeup. She
Ooh.
transforms.
But she does
me.
like
Yeah,
filmography makeup.
Yeah, she is a fantastic film artist. Yeah,
she does.
And she transforms me into La Llorona for that event. That's her that does it. So if you've seen my pictures out there where I'm, crying blood and looking all ghoulish, that is her work. Yeah, she's amazing.
It's funny to see her, like, whether it's her personal Instagram or the Red Door Vintage Instagram. Her kid grew up around that.
Yeah.
So she's been like La Llorona since she was like 1 year old. You cannot tell that kid the cuckoo is coming.
yeah.
She'll be like, where? Let's party.
I know. She'll be like, I already know.
Yeah, he's my friend.
He's my buddy.
We're besties.
Yeah, and her daughter is also phenomenally talented with makeup herself at such a young age. She does special
But her expressions, like, she
Yes.
really grabs the character with the makeup that
she's
she
amazing,
is. Like,
amazing.
that dead eye look, like, she
Really,
does.
they
well.
create art.
Yeah.
That is art what they do. And yeah,
Go check out the Red Door Vintage.
Yes,
And then where can people follow you to see more? Because you mentioned you have pictures and stuff of some of the urban legends.
you can most of our photos and stuff you can find on our Facebook on Lost El Paso Paranormal, but of course you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, we're on all that good stuff. And I also did want to mention that we also have another thing we do on a monthly basis. It's called Paranormal in the Park. And that is a completely free event. We meet at a park once a month, and it's free, family friendly. You can come out, bring the kids, bring the dogs, and we talk ghost stories and legends and stuff like that. So I think I have something kind of special for November. I think we're going to maybe be able to do like a campfire one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'll keep you guys posted when that's confirmed. But yeah, that's a lot of fun too, because it's just a gathering of El Pasoans that love this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Completely free. Bring the kids, bring the dogs. Sometimes people even bring picnics, and it's a lot of fun. We get together and we talk about that stuff once a month. So everyone's invited to join us as well.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Well, we took some pictures behind the scenes too, so we'll tag you on there too. So if
Thank
you guys
you.
want to find more details on that and continue being spooky on this Halloween. So, well, thanks,
you.
Heather. You had a crazy busy month.
Yes,
So
I
now
did.
today you're just gonna relax.
Yes.
This is your final.
This is actually like my day off of the whole year. This is like my day when I go home, eat candy, and lay on the couch and watch horror movies.
There we
So I
go.
cannot wait.
Well, I'm excited for you. No,
Yes.
thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you
I
for
really
having
appreciate it. And we'll have you back Christmas so you can share
Yes.
those stories
Yes.
with us.